So today in science, we're going to start talking about force and motion. And so I just thought we would go over some of our vocabulary really fast and then add some journal notes. Okay, so right now I just need you to listen, and then on the next slide we'll take some notes together, okay? So a force can be a push or a pull. We have three different types of forces we're going to focus on. We have magnetism, friction, and gravity. They're all examples of forces. Now, magnetism is a force. So I want you to think about a magnet. Do you think it is a push force? Do you think it pushes on things? Do you think it pulls things? Or maybe does it do both? Think about that for a minute. Think about playing with magnets and kind of how they react to things and how they react to each other. All right, so a bar magnet, it has two poles, the north and the south end, and unlike poles attract each other or pull together. So if you have a north end and a south end, they're going to attract and they're going to pull together. Now, if I have two south ends, they're going to repel or push apart. Okay, you can kind of like move the magnet because it's pushing against the other one. They won't even touch. So, is a magnet a push or pull or both? It is both because it can both push and pull that force. Now, friction is a force that works against motion. So, this box down here at the bottom, if I was trying to push it against the carpet of my classroom floor, then that carpet would be rubbing against the box, and that is what we call friction. So friction is a force that works against motion. It works in the opposite direction. So if I'm pushing forward, it's pushing back. So it's pushing against. So when you lightly roll a toy car across the floor, it's going to come to a stop because of friction. Gravity is our last force, and so gravitational force, or gravity, pulls masses towards things that have a much greater mass. So in this picture, you have a cat being pulled towards the earth, and that's why we don't fall off the earth, is because of gravity. We're being pulled to the earth because of that force. So in the diagram below, the cat's being pulled towards earth because of gravity. Now, another thing that's kind of cool is that gravity keeps our earth going around the sun, or orbiting the sun. The sun has a much greater mass than earth. It is so big. And so the sun is pulling the sun is pulling the earth towards it because of gravity. Now, it doesn't have enough gravity to suck us all the way in and stick us to the sun, thank goodness, because we would fry, but it has enough to keep us just at the right distance so that our climate is perfect. So, here are three questions. Let's review them. What are the three types of forces? Okay, so we have friction, we have gravity, and we have magnetism. Those are our three forces. Now, why does friction slow down objects in motion? Well, it works against it by rubbing against the object, okay? So when it's in motion, you have this rubbing action happening, which is friction, and it slows it down. What are some examples of gravitational force? So one example is us. We are pulled to the planet Earth, and we are held here so that we don't fall off. Okay, so that's one example. Another is our planet orbiting the sun. Okay, it's being pulled towards the sun just enough so that we stay warm enough that we don't freeze or fry. All right, so those are a couple examples of gravitational force. So that's kind of what we're going to be studying the next few days. Maybe doing some little experiments together and videos and trying to make it fun because this is a really cool unit. So what we're going to do, you need to get your science journal. On the next page, we're going to take a few notes so that you have those to look at if you need them.